Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be recorded on my phone because I don't have time to charge my camera, and if I don't get the video done now, it will never ever get done. So I'm just going to tell you guys my labor and delivery story, um and the things that I went through during the labor time. I was in labor, I guess you can say, for a long time, but active labor for a short amount of time. So if you want to see or hear, in other words, about my experience, then just keep watching. Okay, so it started on June 3rd. Let me go back, actually. On May 13th, on Mother's Day, I was having contractions like all day, like literally all day. And I had to go to the hospital because the contractions were like mild all day, but I was having them so consistently and it was worrying me. So I decided to go to the hospital later that night. And when I got there, they're like, yeah, you're definitely having contractions. They checked my cervix and my cervix was closed. And then they're like, okay, we're going to check back in 2 hours. And if you made no change, we're just going to send you home. So I was like, okay. So I was thinking in my head, like, I'm going to go home. But 2 hours later, they came back and I was 2 centimeters. Um, so they're like, yeah, we're gonna have to keep you, to monitor you because we don't know, we don't want to send you home and then you go into active labor or whatever. So they kept me. They actually put me in a room where you have the baby. At this point, I was 35 weeks pregnant. So they told me that at that point of pregnancy the baby's lungs should be fully developed. um but the pediatrician came in, all these bunch of doctors came in and just told me that um that they would take him up to the NICU once he came out, just so that they could watch him and stuff. But then they checked me again in 2 hours. I was 3 centimeters, so they still kept me. um I only dilated one more, and then they came back another 2 hours later and I didn't dilate anymore, so they told me that I can go home, and they gave me discharge papers and stuff. So I went home. um and basically from that point on, May 13th, I was in in labor. But active labor is when obviously your body is gonna have the baby. So that was basically the labor part. I was 3 centimeters for so long. I was having these contractions for so long. Um, but nothing was ever really set. So from 35 weeks, I was so I was scared any day now. That's how I was thinking. So then I was trying to do things so I can get him out once I was 36, 37 weeks. Yeah, around 36 and a half weeks. I was literally tired of being pregnant. I was crying, so emotional. My boobs would leak. So I was so irritated because I just wanted to have the baby already. So I basically was just so desperate to get him out. I did the midwife brew. I drank castor oil. I did walking every freaking day. I got myself a bouncing ball. But the only thing that worked for me, and I found it literally towards the end, right when literally before I was having him, was evening primrose oil. So if you're pregnant and you're ready to give birth, by the way, don't do this unless you're 37 weeks or 36 weeks, 36 to 37. Orally, you could take it at 36 weeks, but internally, 37 weeks. I'm not a doctor, so ask your doctor. But yeah, so I around 36 weeks I started taking the evening primrose oil through my mouth, and then 37 weeks internally. And it's not really supposed to like put you into labor, but it's supposed to soften everything down there, like your cervix, and just help you efface or whatever it's called, efface, and dilate. So that's what I was doing. Um, it makes everything soft, like I was saying. So I I only put it inside for like 4 days. Yeah, 4 or 5, no, 4 days. And on the fourth day that I did that, my water broke, which was June 3rd. My water broke. Um, so prior to that, on June 2nd, I went to sleep. I was having contractions all night, but like mild ones, like nothing serious. And I just felt like a lot of like, something felt different in me. But I was like, you know what, like maybe it's gonna be in the next few days, like when I have him. So I woke up on June 3rd around 8 something in the morning. I had to use the bathroom, so I went to go use the bathroom. And after, like, I was on the toilet and I got up and, like, I just felt like a little gush come out, like, a very little bit. I was like, did my water just break? But I wasn't, like, completely sure because, like, you don't really know unless, like, it's a big gush. But it wasn't big, it was, like, a little bit. So whatever, then that came out, and then I was like so scared, and then I walked like to my room, and it was like trickling out, and then I sat on my bed, more came out, changed my clothes were like full. I have a picture, so I'll insert that now. And I have a little clip of when my water broke too, so I will also show that now. Hi guys, so this is freaking crazy. My water broke. It's like on the bed right now. But yeah, I woke up and like I had to use the bathroom. But all night I was like having cramping and like little contractions. And then I had to go pee. So when I went to go pee, like a little bit of water came out, and then I was like, oh, like maybe like it's just like leftover pee. And then I got into the room. I was like, nah, that was my water because it started like dripping a little bit. And then I laid on the bed, and it got on the bed and got on a towel, got on my clothes. I had to change my clothes again. It's just crazy. So I definitely feel like the baby dropped, but I'm like having little contractions, little bit of cramping, nothing like too serious. But once I get there, I know I'm not going to be allowed to record a lot, so I'm going to try to record as much as I can. But can't promise you guys because there's no recording in this hospital. So yeah, so you guys might see me after the baby. But yeah, so once my water broke, I called my hospital. They told me to come in. I waited about an hour. Like, I wanted to like take a shower and shave and everything. Like, I wanted to be like cleansed. So that's basically what I did. um I took my hospital bag with me. I wasn't sure if they were gonna keep me, but I was like, you know what, like, they probably are. So, but I wasn't having like contractions really. Like, it was like very little bit. So yeah, so they checked my water. I mean, they checked me when I got there, and they confirmed that my water was broken. Um, Now when they checked that my water was broken, they like basically like everything from that point on is like you're in labor, and like you need to get the baby out within 24 hours. So they put me into the delivery room, and they had like the baby stuff there or whatever. I had my own room for that. Well, obviously you have to when you're pushing the baby out. You can't share freaking rooms. So yeah, they kept me in there, and then um so I was admitted at like 10:30, and my water broke at 8:30. So they checked me at 10:30. I was still 3 centimeters, so I didn't dilate, but it did break my water that evening. Primrose. I'm saying it broke my water mainly because nothing else was working until I took that. So I guess it softened everything down there, and then whatever. So then they checked me again, like at 4 o'clock, or no, it was 1 o'clock. They checked me again, and I was 3-4. So they were like, all right, you're not progressing fast enough, so we have to give you Pitocin to like help induce you. So they then gave me Pitocin, and the Pitocin was not working like for hours, because they checked me again around like 11 p.m. Like they waited so long, and I was only 4 centimeters with the Pitocin. So they're like, okay, like you're not really progressing, whatever. So then they told me that if he, you know, if nothing really happens, and by 8 in the morning, that they would have to give me a C-section. So I was like praying and stuff. Um, it wasn't until after they checked me at 11, around 12:30, I started feeling like contractions. Like it got serious, and it was painful and annoying. So I only lasted 10 minutes, like with those contractions, and then I was like, nope, I need an epidural. So they gave me the epidural. Which was actually like less painful than I thought it was going to be. They make you bend over, and then they like put this thingy on your back, and then they just put it in. I was chilling. I was fine. Then I fell asleep, and then I woke up at like 4 in the morning, and I was like, bro, I think I'm gonna like give birth. I started feeling like pressure down there, and I was like, I feel a lot of pressure. And then the doctors came in and checked me, and I was like 9.5 centimeters. So like just hearing that like scared me, and it was like right after that I was going crazy. Like I needed to push. Like no one understands how bad I needed to push. So they made me lay on my left side because, no, on my right side, because they said that his head had to come down like a certain way a little more. So I laid on my right side, and oh my god, my voice. So I laid on my right side, and I just felt like his head like coming down and down and down. And I was like, "Ow, wait, I just poked myself in the eye." And I was like, I need to push now. So I started crying. I was crying so much. And then my mom was with me, and I was like, get the doctor, like I need to push. I wasn't like screaming. I was just crying because it like hurt, and I needed to push. I really did. So they got the doctor. Finally, after like 10-15 minutes, she came, and you know they checked me, and they told me like it's time for you to push. So I took my first round of pushing, and they were like, good, 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 whatever. Then I pushed again, and then he came like more down. Then I pushed again, he came more down. Then like I took a little break, whatever. Then I pushed again. He was still coming like down, down. But there was a point that he wanted to come out, but he couldn't come out. So they had to cut me. He freaking cut me down there. So painful. And then I was just pushing. Like once they cut me, like he came out so much easier. I pushed like I think 3 times, and his head came out. Then once his head came out, like you just feel the shoulders, and then the shoulders came out. Then once his shoulders came out, like it was like a snake. Like then he just like slithered. That sounds so wrong, but he literally like just came out. And then they were like, like pressing down on my stomach after. Well, then they put him on me so that we could have like skin to skin, and then they were pressing down like on my stomach so for the afterbirth, like the placenta or whatever, to come out. And then actually like felt it come out, but it felt like a little like gooey, like nothing like a baby, obviously. And then that came out, and then they just sewed me up, and it was like nothing after that. Like they just changed my gown, and they had to put me in the like recovery room, like the postpartum room. But like it just like for me, like it just happened all so quick, and like I really wasn't like expecting everything to go as quickly as it did. So it was like kind of like overwhelming, I guess you can say, in a way. And you know, I was just a little worried. Like I was like, okay, now I had the baby, like now things are gonna change and stuff. But when he came out, like I literally just felt like this, like wow, like I literally just had a baby. Like I can't believe I pushed this out. And by the way, guys, he was 7 pounds 20 ounces, 7 pounds 0 ounces, so exactly 7 pounds, and he was 20 inches long. So he was just amazing, and he's such a good baby. He only wakes up when he wants milky, and I'm still breastfeeding. This is a week later from when I gave birth. I'm still breastfeeding. I am in a lot of pain. Like my stitches really hurt, so like I can't really get up as much as I want to. Um, and like taking a shower is a little painful. So it's just a lot of different things. I'm emotional. Everything is really scary at this point in time. Um, but we're getting a schedule for him. And he's just such a good baby, and I love him so much, and I wouldn't trade him for anything in the world. But I will definitely be doing updates, and I have a mommy and me channel coming out, like mommy and son channel. Yeah, so that was my labor and delivery story, and stay tuned for more.